Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Scotty's Toolbox, where we love to check out tools. We love tools. All us car guys love tools. And we're here to look at cool tools, unusual tools. Maybe they're cheap tools. Maybe they're just something that I think you need to have in your little repertoire, in your toolbox. Now, this week we were going to check out something a little bit more unusual, something I stumbled across, and I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't even know that existed. But we're going to look at that next week because I was in Bunnings yesterday, not sponsored, having a look for a lamp for my daughter, and I just happened to walk past this pile of tools, and I went, wow, that is cheap, and that is cool, and I think everyone needs one, and that is this little toolkit. So I'll start off by saying it is a very budget toolkit made. It's the Craft Right brand, which is Bunnings' sort of home brand. Bunnings being kind of the Home Depot of Australia. It is our largest sort of tool warehouse / hardware store. They sell everything from garden furniture to plants to just everything, really. And, you know, with the online stuff now, they're selling everything. Like, you can buy a turbocharger from Bunnings online. You know, like, that's, to me, is insane. So anyway, getting off track, but yeah, walking through Bunnings, I saw this and I thought, for $29.95, that's right, $29.95, you get this little toolkit. And like these days, $29.95 doesn't get you much, especially in the Australian Pacific peso. Yeah, so I thought $29.95, I need to check it out. I haven't even opened this yet. So this is me opening it for the first time in front of you guys. It is 109 pieces, all right? 109 piece toolkit. And why I think you need this, I mean, this is not the sort of thing I'd use here in Scotty's garage. I've got better tools than this. But, you know, when you're out on the road and something goes wrong with the car, it's handy to have, like, any tool is better than no tool. So cheap tools are better than no tools when you're out on the road. And I'm going to put this toolkit in my daily driver because I've been many a time had stuff like a loose battery clamp or something happen, you know, a radiator hose that need nipping up, whatever. I've had plenty of incidences where I've needed to do something on the daily driver and I hadn't had a single tool in the car, and I'm like, what the hell? How am I going to fix this? And that's where this kit's going to come into play, because I'm going to leave this in the car, and that way I've always got some sort of basic tools just to, you know, get me mobile if I need to. It's all about getting to the next service station or the next garage or the next town or whatever when you're stuck out there on the road. So, 109 pieces, $29.95. Let's see what's in it. All right, there is a list there, and I can go through it, but let's go on a voyage of discovery. So when I was in the States, I did buy a cheap kit when I was over there, but that cost me a lot more than $29.95. I think I spent like $100. It was a bigger kit. It was like 200 and some piece kit, Husky brand, which is kind of the Home Depot brand. And that was certainly handy for what I wanted to do over there. But yeah, I mean, $29.95, what's that in the American dollars is very cheap, you know, like just over $20. So everything's wrapped. So we've got, looks like a socket set of some description. I'll unwrap the plastic first. I'll set it there. And then we've got a big cardboard box. All right, so the bag at that point is pretty empty, but it has a side pocket, a Velcro handle on the top that comes together with the zipper. We've got a lot of pockets inside here. So we've got pockets all along the side, pockets on the end, pockets on the other side as well. You know, we've got pockets that'll take spanners or pens or anything. You know, there's a bit of space in there. So not only can we put everything that's here back in here, but we can add some other stuff like cable ties, duct tape, whatever you think we need. All right, let's have a look at the cardboard box. Okay, starting off, we've got the basic budget mini screwdriver set, which, yeah, these are handy. They are certainly handy. More of a household thing, I think, than a car thing, but, you know, basic set of pliers, which are always handy. Bullnose pliers are definitely very handy in a car scenario. Some very short Allen keys. I mean, in a pinch, they'll get you out of trouble. But, yeah. What are they? They're SAE. They're not even metric. Which, oh, no. Well, we've got a metric set here too, by the looks of it. Okay. Called it too early. All right. Yep. We've got a metric set and we've got an SAE set. So, or standard, imperial, whatever you want to call it. So, some Allen keys. They are short Allen keys, but I'm sure they'll have some uses. We've got some spanners. And these are, you can tell they are cheap spanners. There's a lot of nice, relatively inexpensive spanners available these days, and these are not those. They are, yeah, they're pretty basic spanners, but we've got 17, 14, 8, 10, and 12. I am confused that they would not have a 13 in there, unless there's one hiding somewhere, which does not appear to be. So why they would not have a 13 mil in there, I do not know. But they've got a 12 and a 14, so very useful for Japanese cars because, yeah, 10, 12, and 14, pretty much with those you'll be able to pull apart any Japanese car. A very small shifting spanner or adjustable wrench, depending on where you come from. A flat-bladed screwdriver. A Phillips head screwdriver, and of the most usable sizes. I mean, they are pretty much the standard, you know, one size fits nothing sort of Phillips head and flat blade, but they will fit most things. Let's face it, those two sizes will fit most things. A very small knife, a little razor blade knife. So useful for cutting open packaging or whatever. Oh, some cable ties. Again, pretty cheap cable ties, but, you know, looks to be a dozen or more of just cable ties. A little driver tool and some bits. So we do have more screwdriver bits. We have some Torx bits there. So Torx bits from T10 up to T30. And then just some, you know, like a H6, a H3, couple Phillips head, couple flats, and some square drives. So we've got some bits there for the driver as well. And then, yeah, the good old hammer, because sometimes you just need to smack something or someone. Oh, I didn't say that. But yeah, sometimes you need a hammer. So it's actually nice rubber feel on that hammer. Yeah, it's not terrible. So this kit could double as a house kit as well, you know. So you've got a kit there that could handle most sort of car stuff, but it also, with the addition of that and the addition of that, you know, it's going to be a handy house kit as well. Because I'll tell you what, the amount of times my wife has gone, oh, can you just fix this for me? And I'm like, oh, now I've got to go out to the shed and grab this and, you know, to do some little job in the house where if I had a kit like this inside, I can do that. In fact, she has a little pink kit that we use for inside stuff sometimes. All right, and then in our black box here, we've got a cheap socket set. And again, you know, it is a cheap set. I mean, it's got the classic old cheap ratchet. It's got another little driver tool, like a 1/8 driver. And it is well, it does appear to be, let me check. Okay, so it's 3/8 and 1/4. Did I say 1/8 before? I said meant 1/4. So 3/8 and 1/4 for driving. It has the sizes down to 5/32 and down to 4mm. So it's a fair few sockets there. It's quite a lot of sockets when you think about it. Again, like I said, it's a cheap kit. It's got a 3/8 extension. It's got a 3/8 ratchet there. You know, it's not fancy, but it'll do the job. And like I said, the whole idea is for it to get you out of trouble. So it goes up to 9/16 on the SAE and up to 13mm on the metric. Although, okay, it's got 13mm on quarter drive as well. So 13mm on 3/8 and 13mm on quarter. So, yeah. I think as a kit though, when you look at all that, ignoring the knife, adding the tool bag, $29.95 though, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And it's something, like I said, you throw it in the boot, you just forget it's there, load it up with a couple extra bits, like I said, you know, give it some more cable ties, maybe some bigger and longer cable ties and a couple extra bits and pieces. You know, give it some tape, you know, at least a roll of gaffer tape, but, you know, gaffer tape, electrical tape. We've got the screwdrivers. We've got bullnose pliers. A pair of long nose pliers would be certainly handy, I think, and maybe even a bigger shifter because, I mean, while we go up to 17mm there, what happens if you got something that's a bit bigger than 17mm? Because this shifter might make it to 19. It's touch and go, but yeah, maybe you want something a bit bigger, and certainly this little case will handle a much bigger shifter because, like I said, sometimes you need a bigger shifter, and maybe it'll even handle a couple extra spanners, you know, if you know your car's got different size requirements. Would I use it as a backup kit for an older car? Maybe not, although, you know, your bag, certainly a handy size for that. But older cars are more likely to break down on the side of the road. So I would definitely set up a kit for an older car more specifically for that car, and maybe with a few more tools than that. I know when I take Dad's ute out for a drive somewhere, I tend to take a much larger like case arrangement because, yeah, I mean, while most of the time it's pretty reliable, it's always that time that it'll leave you stranded on the side of the road that's the one that's going to catch you out. And it can be the difference between, you know, fixing it at home later or $1,000 repair bill or tow bill just to get home. So something to think about, but still. So we've got a socket set, got some spanners. Would be cool if the spanners had a bit of a roll, but hey, you can't expect much for $29. Screwdrivers, hammer, shifter and zip ties. Got your little drivers, your Allen keys, your knife, your mini screwdrivers and your pliers, and you got room for a bit more. So it's not chock-a-block full. Like there is definitely room for more in there. And then once you've got it zipped up, it's a handy little kit. Now, as I said before, I'm not sponsored by Bunnings, and they don't, I have no particular, favoritism towards them other than they carry just about everything. But, as a bit of a bargain kit, it's pretty hard to beat, isn't it? It's very cheap, and cheap in both ways. It's cheap in cost, but also, you would not be buying this as a primary kit for your home garage. But, as I said, for an emergency kit, it'll get you out of trouble. Is there anything else we need to talk about on the packet? It's 15 cable ties according to the packet. So, 1 3/8 drive ratchet handle, 1 3/8 drive extension bar, a 3/8 drive spin disc, or whatever the hell that's. I guess it's so you can rotate it with your fingers. Yeah. So 3 3/8 drive metric sockets from 11 to 13 mil, 3 3/8 drive SAE sockets from 7/16 to 9/16. And then, so there's 6 3/8 drive sockets, and the rest of them are 1/4 inch drive. And there's 13 metric and 12 imperial in those. And yeah, you got your little combination wrenches, your ring and open-ended spanners, so 8, 10, 12, 14, 17, 150 mil adjustable wrench, claw hammer, 12-ounce claw hammer, 160 mil pliers, all your little hex drive pieces, your screwdrivers, all your little bits, your knife, your cable ties, your storage bag, all for $29.95. Available from Bunnings right now. I have no idea if it's a special or not. That's why I decided to do it this week. So just in case it is some sort of crazy special that won't be ever repeated, at least you can go down and buy it right now if you want. Not saying you have to, just saying you should.